this good, positive, nurturer, healer, but like that light, right? This wolf is like this good, positive energy. Then there's this other wolf that comes around your tribe or your village or you personally, and it's this negative wolf. It's this dark wolf. It's this one that feeds into like your jealousy, your anger, your doubt, your envy, some of those negative thoughts, those negative feelings. And so the elder of this like Cherokee tribe is talking to his grandson, and he's talking about these two wolves. And the grandson asks, well, this battle between these two wolves, how do you know which wolf wins in this battle? And the elder, the grandpa, just basically says, grandson, how is basically it's the wolf you feed the most. That's who wins in that battle, the wolf that you feed the most. So what I want to do is I want to challenge you guys listening today. I want to challenge you guys to, feed that good wolf. I know sometimes it can be difficult to do, but when you wake up, talk about some affirmations, talk about the successes that you've had. Although you may think that you're not in the place that you want to be prideful in where you're at. Be prideful in the journey that you've already made, because the obstacles that you've had to overcome. And other people may not know that. They don't know your challenges. They don't know some of the things that you had to grow up with, or the struggles that you might have had, or the opportunities that you didn't get, right? But we make those opportunities. So be proud of those obstacles that you've overcome. Be proud of those opportunities that you've created. So when I woke up this morning, I was like, thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you, Creator. Thank you. That higher being, whether it's God, whether it's Mother Earth, whatever it may be. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for giving me the strength to wake up another day and to be where I'm at in my life. A little bit about my journey is, I'm a little bit older, and I'm about a year and a half way through my master's degree. I'm working. I have a family. Like these things that I'm proud of. And maybe they're small. Maybe they're not that big to you and where you're at, but it's important to me. It's big to me. So I want to honor that. And I want to tell myself, good job, Joseph. Good job, or good job, White Buffalo, of Aliens on the App. Good job for getting it this far. Because honestly, we did it. We did it. I did it. I can't believe that. I don't want to tell my age, but I can't believe that I made it this far. I didn't think I would make it this far. I didn't think that I would be at this point that I'm at. And then I see my friends. And I'm going to be at my buddy's wedding in August. He just had a son. His son's like 2-3 years old. And I'm like, holy smokes, I can't believe you're a dad now. Congratulations. And, he just turned 40. And, he met the wife now. He's getting married at 40. But you know what? That's cool. Some people get married at 20. Some people start their career. Some people, travel. Some people, start college early. But it doesn't matter. That's the point of what I was, making earlier when I started this mindful meditation video today. Is it doesn't matter at what stage of your life you're at when you start, meeting kind of your self expectations. It happened at those moments that it was supposed to happen at. And I might have even said that quote, I think, at the first video of Mindfulness Meditation. If you guys were there for the first episode of Mindful Meditation, I talked about this author called, his name is Douglas Adams, and he made this, he wrote this book called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxies. And man, that's such a cool book. Like if you guys get an opportunity to read it, it's like such a cool book. But he talks about, this quote in the book. He says, I may not be where I thought I was, but I'm where I'm supposed to be, and that's mindful meditation right there. That's mindfulness, you know, because you're accepting where you're at. You're accepting what stage of your life that you're at. And we live so many lives. That's like the coolest thing about life, you know. We have the opportunity, just the fact that we woke up today, the fact that we're on this video today, the fact that I'm here talking to you today, that's a life. That's a new life. And, you know, the people that I encounter today, whether I think so or not, I had an effect on, you know, whether, and I may not even know, maybe I said something to them today and they were like, oh, dang, you know, Joseph said he was about to get a ham sandwich today and I really want a ham sandwich today. And maybe that changed their lives. And that's really small, I'm just kidding. But it could be something as small as that, you know what I'm saying? In fact, I actually had a coworker, you know, she wasn't feeling well. She talked about having a migraine and, you know, she really wanted to go to work and she had just started. You know, I think she's only been with me for like a week. And my response was, you know what, take care of yourself. You let me know when you're feeling better. And it's okay, you know, take care of your health, take care of your wellness. And the reason that was my response, to be honest, is because I remember my first job. I remember when I was at Pizza Hut, you know, on the calls, taking calls and taking those orders. Customers were mean to me, but I had this boss that was like on a power trip. And she was like, oh, you're not here on time, or you're not giving good customer service. And they just expected like this perfection, you know, from me. It's like a 16-year-old just working for the first time. And that's not realistic. You know, those expectations are too high. We need to be willing to accept our shortcomings, because those shortcomings, those failures, those lead to successes. Those lead to growth. They lead to our strength. You know, we cannot succeed. We cannot get stronger unless we fail. You know, so that's really what we're doing. You know, when you go to the gym, when I'm talking right now to this video, when I present in person, I'm strengthening that skill set. I'm strengthening that muscle. You know, when you go to the gym and it's leg day, you're working on those legs, you're working on those calves, you're working on all those body parts of your leg to be stronger, to maybe do that hike, or maybe just you know, strengthen those legs for that bike ride, and or to feel good about yourself, you know, just to feel good about your body, you know. When you put on that shirt, like I wore this shirt today, I was dressed in a uniform, I was in a suit and tie, and I thought, it's hot, I want to be comfortable. This shirt is like one of my favorite shirts. It has holes under my armpits. It has a cool little American flag though that I really like. But it used to be black, it looks gray. But I love the shirt, it's a comfortable shirt. This is a shirt that makes me comfortable. You know, so I wanted to be comfortable doing this mindful meditation. And I'm cool with that, you know. And I would even post this on Instagram, you know, for real. Like I would post this as like, this is my drip today. You know what I mean? But you gotta celebrate yourself, like celebrate that drip. You don't gotta, and I feel like that's a good point, you know, but don't take it overboard, you know, I always say this thing about people that like go to the grocery store in pajamas. Sometimes that's not a good idea. You know what I mean? So you just gotta be mindful though, you know, of your setting and your situation. I'm among people that I trust. I'm among people that I know aren't gonna hold judgment. So I feel good about what I'm in right now, and I feel good about the environment that I'm in and the people that I'm around. So I'm comfortable with doing that right now, you know, but sometimes when you go in public, then it may not be the case, so you wanna, you know, kind of dress a little bit more fine, you know? So yeah, let's talk about mindfulness. Let's talk about kind of, you know, where we're at. Let's reflect on that. There is a chat box here that you guys could, you know, drop a little something if you want to talk about how you're feeling today, talk about where you're at in your day or your journey, in your career, and your goal. And you could just drop that out, put it in the universe, you know. You don't need to expect anyone to respond or anything like that, but you could put it out there and you could say, you know, White Buffalo, this is where I'm at in my journey. You know, this is what I'm doing. I just had a kid, I'm scared, you know, but I'm embracing it. Okay, cool. man, you're gonna be maybe you're a single parent, maybe you're two parent, you just had a kid, but you're working with it, right? You're taking on what life has thrown at you, and you're accepting that. Again, back to mindfulness. That is being mindful. That is accepting the cards you're dealt. That's accepting the obstacles, and that's telling yourself that you are up to the challenge. You're up to that task. The same could be for, your education. The same could be for maybe, some creative stuff that you're doing right now. If you're working on like some designs. I wanted to bring up this thing I saw today actually about this kiddo. He's maybe 8 years old. And, COVID hit him, right? It hit him, it challenged him. And he's a little artist, right? So, what happened there was, he started painting. His mom actually really encouraged him. His mom encouraged him and said, why don't you paint to like kind of get you through, this isolation, right? Paint to get you through maybe these feelings that you might have, whether it's happy, whether it's sad, but use this tool, right? Use painting as this ability to release some of those emotions, some of those feelings of happiness, sad, anger, surprise, uncertainty, maybe even anxiety. So through COVID, this little kid, like I said, this little 8-year-old, he's painting. And he's doing like acrylic, he's doing, brush, he's doing watercolors and things like that. And, COVID's over, right? And so he has all these canvases that, the family got, and he has all these paintings. And so his mom says, and again, here comes that support, right? We want to be able to support. So his mom says, you know what, these paintings look awesome. Why don't we have a little art gallery? And so all they did was they hung up his paintings, right? They hung up his paintings in their hallway of their home. And so they displayed them all, and she said, we're gonna have a little art gallery. And the only reason I know this is because it was posted on LinkedIn, which is a platform that I have. And so her son tells the mom, which I thought was amazing, because sometimes with mindfulness, this is what it takes, to help us be mindful. And I think there are some things that could help us be more mindful, or have that courage or that strength to kind of be like, that articulate with what this little boy said when his mom said, I'm gonna put up these paintings and we're gonna do an art gallery. And so the boy says, I'm gonna sell them, Mom, for like $20 each. If you want to print, I'll sell them for $20 each. And then if they want the original, painting, I'll sell them for $100. And then, what he says at the end? He says, and, if they don't want to buy them now, they could pay $16 million 20 years down the road. And I thought that was like just such like a boss move, like to have that confidence. And that confidence is probably, he probably had it. He might have, had that ability to think that way from the get-go. But he also had a good support system in place to feel that way about himself, to feel that good about himself, to even express that. And you could tell a little bit in the story that I gave, because his mom encouraged him, right? His mom gave him these tools, directed him, and supported him. And that in turn gave him confidence, right? Gave him a good perspective on things. And so that's another part of, what we're talking about today. Like maybe we don't have those supports in place. So that's why, you're listening to, maybe certain podcasts, or you're watching certain things, or you're surrounding yourself with these certain people, because maybe you don't have that good strong support system at home, but you find it somewhere else. And I'll tell you what, right now, like it takes a village to do that. It takes a village, a community to to really like raise a child with that kind of awareness or that mindfulness, right? So like for me, I know it wasn't just my mom or my dad that like helped me, be, have the courage to talk right now through this video, or, have the courage to go get my degree later on in life, or even get my, associate degree or things like that. I was the first one to get like my college degree, right? It didn't take one person. You know, it took so many people in my life. It took my teachers, it took my friends, it took my cousins, my siblings, my aunts and uncles, like my just my peers, like people that I ran into in life. Like my first job at Pizza Hut that I talked about, there was this girl, Rocio, and she was a year older than me. And man, she made me feel like I was like so cool, so awesome. And I remember her still. And then I remember, actually, I worked at a golf cart place, and I had a buddy, Paul Chapman. And this dude, again, you know, encouraged me, supported me, you know, and vice versa. I you know, supported them, and I, you know, talked them up, lifted them up. And I remember, I got a story about Paul Chapman, actually, that I want to talk about. This is so crazy. So if you guys know who John Lennon is, so John Lennon is part of the Beatles, and this dude makes some cool songs and everything. And he has this song called Imagine. And me and Paul are getting high. We're smoking marijuana, all right? And we're at the golf cart. It's raining that day, so the track is too slick, and you can't have really anyone on the track, because it's the tires are slick. There's no traction on them, and the go-karts would be all over the place, right? It's a fun time to ride, and really, it's we would do it, you know, in the rain, you know, go cruising on the golf carts and slide all over the place. But anyways, this particular day, we didn't have any customers, and we decided to, you know, have a little smoke sesh. You know, 16, 17, I think we were. And it's crazy because we were just like laughing, kind of goofing off, talking smack to each other. And then out of nowhere, he freaking starts singing that song, Imagine. And he's like, imagine all the people, you know, I don't even know the words, I'm a horrible singer. But it's basically about, you know, John Lennon imagining like there's no war, no hunger, no homeless, like, and he's going on through these lyrics. And Paul's singing this, and he only sings maybe the chorus or something. And like literally I zone out, and I'm listening to him sing this song. He stops singing, and I'm like, dude, did you just make up that song right now? Like, did you just come up with those, like you just thought of that right now? And he's like, yeah, I just thought of that song, you know? And it just came to me. And I'm like, oh my God, that's insane. Like, you need to be like a professional singer, you know, you need to get your guitar, you need to do all this stuff. I can't believe you just made that up, you know? And he's like, yeah. And this is how cool this guy is. Like, he doesn't tell me, you know, it was a John Lennon song. And about like 4 years later, you know, I'm in Seattle, Washington, and, you know, I was stationed out there, and I'm going to Alaska. And my chief has the radio on, and that song John Lennon Imagine by John Lennon comes on. And it's the exact lyrics, it's everything. And I'm like, hey, who sings that song? And my chief's like, oh, John Lennon. And I'm like, what? What? Like, what? What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, you don't know who John Lennon is? And I'm like, no. He's like, he's from the Beatles. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know the Beatles. He's like, well, this is John Lennon. He made this song, Imagine. And I was like, just like laughing in my mind, like, this mother, you know, I can't believe. And so as soon as I got to Alaska and I had reception, I called Paul and I'm like, dude, you freaking, you sang that song, you know, when we were 17 at that that go-kart place, and you never told me that wasn't your song. And he's laughing, and he's like, can't stop laughing. He's not even talking. And I'm just yelling like, what the heck? I believed this whole time that was you that made that song. And then finally he's like, dude, I thought you were messing with me. He thought I was messing with him, like maybe being sarcastic and saying, oh, you made that song. Oh yeah, good job. But I was seriously dumbfounded that he made this awesome song. And, you know, yeah, we were high. So don't do drugs, kids. You know, marijuana is a bad drug. It's a gateway drug. Be mindful about that if you do use it in moderation. But yeah, anyways, you know, a little bit about that. So yeah, you guys want to, you know, just think about where you're at in life. You know, think about accepting that, being okay with where you're at. You know, just back to, you know, what I was talking about. Everyone has their own time. Everyone has their own journey. It's not a race. You know, it's not a race at all. Life is not a race to the finish line. There is no finish line. You know, we all achieve the things that we achieve at our own time. And, you know, the people that come into our lives are at their own time too. So thank you guys for joining me today for Mindfulness Meditation. I'm gonna jump in the chat. I'm gonna share some stuff. I told you guys last week I was reading this book by Alan Watt called something about the mind. Man, there's some good stuff in that book. And I really recommend you guys check out some of his talks. Again, Alan Watts, and the book was called Out of Your Mind. And you know, in those speeches that he does at like these colleges and stuff like that, he just talks about, you know, how powerful our mind is, you know, and how complicated it is, you know. There's this little blurb that I'll leave with in one of his sessions, and he talks about, you know, if we were to go to God or the Creator, or, you know, the being that created, you know, the oceans and all that. He says that it's so unfathomable that you can't really ask someone how you built the oceans or how you built the universe or how you built, you know, Earth and mountains and stuff like that, because it would take so long for him to describe how he did that it would bore us. Like, we don't have the ability to comprehend how that happened, or how this earth was made and how this universe was made. And to him, you know, he just did it. And that's how difficult it is to explain. You know, he just made the ocean. He just made the universe. Like, it just was created. It just happened. And it would take billions of lifetimes for us to even grasp that. So think about that and realize, like, sometimes we just gotta accept it. You know, sometimes we just gotta just know, like, how lucky we are. So thank you guys. This is Mindfulness. I'm gonna shut off the video. I'm gonna jump on the chat, share some music, share some recommendations for mindfulness. I'm listening to Joji. He got the new song that's really awesome that I'll type in the chat. And then, man, Drake finally came out with an album that's good. So check out the new album by Drake. I don't get any residuals for that. He's rich enough. All right, see you guys. Take care.